From Aussie Maille, welcome to our Saturday night live stream. Hope everybody out there in YouTube land is doing well tonight. That you're all staying warm and dry. I don't know about anybody else, but we've got a bit of rain and it's a little cool. Hey Cheryl, how you going? Cassandra, throat cleared. Yeah, no, I was actually singing. It just sounded like I was clearing my throat.
That was me.
Hey everyone, hi Joe, hey Janine. Hey Jenny. I can see Margaret here, Mordrith, hey. How you going guys? Hi Karen. Hey Lisa, Terry, Phyllis. Good to see you, Phyllis. You got loads of rain up there, Susie. Good morning from in California. Hey Anna, Roslyn. Gang's all here, hey? Everyone turned up.
Looks like it.
What, rain? You don't have any down that way, Margaret? We have finally gotten some. It's been a lovely, miserable, wet day today. Which is good. Started off with storms yesterday, didn't it? Now it's just rain.
Nice.
Hey, Di. All right, lovely peoples. Well, we're doing Persephone tonight, which was the second kit in Aussie Mailers for this month. What?
I'm so glad you could say that word.
Oh, okay.
I cannot say that word.
Yeah, no, Chris calls it Percy's phone. He's Chris. So, Persephone, now you've mucked me up. Persephone, which is a weave originally by Corvus. It's a fairly simple weave in that it's basically a squashed half Byzantine unit. So you shouldn't have too much difficulty with it. What I'm going to do is I'm going... Oh, you got the hail. Yeah, we didn't get the hail up here, Cassandra. Some of the villages, as they call them, got hail up here, but we didn't get it here out on our ridge.
Our post lady got hail.
Oh, did she? Well, she's down in Emu Plains. All right, so as I said, Persephone, I will throw this over to the other camera so we can make a start on this for those that came to see the demonstration. And we'll make a start. All right, so here's hoping this works. Yay! All right, I had to reset my computer and everything earlier because this camera didn't work properly. All right, so I've got some samples here for you, as I always do. So this is the 14 gauge AWG version, which is 1.6 millimeter diameter wire. Excuse the cat here. And the ring ID for the actual unit, so this piece here, is 1/4 inch or 6.35 millimeters. The joining rings, I just used 4.75, but you know, basically anything that you've got lying around will work for the joining rings. The 16 gauge version, which is 1.2 millimeter diameter wire, again, the ring used for the unit were 3/16 of an inch or 4.76 millimeters, and the joining rings are just 3.5 millimeter ID rings. Whoops. 18 gauge, 1 millimeter diameter wire. The ring IDs used for the units are 5/32 of an inch or 3.97 millimeters, and just 18 gauge 3 was what I used for the joining rings. And then our itty bitty 20 gauge AWG, which is 0.8 millimeter diameter wire. The rings used in the unit are 1/8 of an inch or 3.18 millimeters, and I just used a 2.75 mil ring to join them. And then this was the other kit that the subscribers got, which is just a simple pair of earrings made out of the same size as the 16 gauge. So the rainbow bracelet and matching earrings were the kits for this month's Mail Club. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to do this in 14 gauge so that it's nice and easy for you guys to see. And as I said, it's a unit-based weave. and it's half Byzantine basically. It's not more complicated than that. All right, so what we want to do to start this weave up is we want to close up 3 of our main color, in this case bright aluminium rings. So close up 3 of those. And with those 3 rings, pop them onto another opened ring of the same color. Okay, so put all 3 of those onto another BA ring, close that up, take up 1 more bright aluminium ring, feed it through all those 3 again. Okay, and we're left with a chain that is 1, 2, 2. Now I like to put the twist tie through here as I would with any Byzantine unit, because especially in the smaller size, it's as tricky as all get out to hold on to. So you just really need to just sort of fold it over. You don't need to do a great big twist. It's not going to stay on there for very long. So pop some sort of handle through that single ring, and we're just going to continue like we would if we were making Byzantine. So flip back the end pair of rings, just put them all the way back and squeeze them against your work, and you can see it opens up this gap here. That's where we want to put our next ring, which is another bright aluminium ring. Okay, we go through there, picking up those 2 rings we folded back, and we close that up. Okay, and there we've got sort of kind of a half Byzantine unit. Normally Byzantine, you work in double rings every time, but this time we've got a single ring on each end of our work. Now I'm going to in the bracelets that I supplied, I mirrored these units. So there's a couple of different steps when you do the unit. So we'll do it one way first. So holding your work, okay, so it looks like this. Make sure you have it being held this way every time that you do this. If you hold it this way one time and then hold it this way the next time, okay, with this being the bit that faces you, you're going to get the same facing thing. It's going to muck up for you. So we need to make sure that whatever we do for our first unit, when we mirror it, we have it in this same position again. Okay, so once you've got your rings like that, I'm going to squish our Byzantine unit flat, and I'm going to do that by applying a little bit of upwards pressure so that this ring here, this one that's on the top here, goes to the top of our unit. Okay, so we just squish it so it lays flat. Okay, making sure that that top ring heads towards the top of our unit. And then our next ring is going to go through this hole here, this pair of rings down here, and this pair of rings up there. Okay, can you see that? Try that again. So this pair here and this pair here, we want our next ring to go through those holes. So this time I'm going to use an anodized aluminium ring, and I'm not particularly elegant at doing this. I sort of just shove both ends in, shove it all the way through, flip it over and do it at the back. I find it's a little fiddly to try and feed it, you know, through the front and through and back through there. So I sort of kind of line up the 2 ends with each hole, feed the unit onto my opened ring, and then close it up. Okay, so this here is actually a completed Persephone unit. Okay, this is what one unit looks like, and then you normally join them on so that they're lying this way. Okay, but I did a little bit different. I'm going to add a couple of extra rings in here, and we're going to join them with it lying slightly different. So although this is a Persephone unit, as it was designed by Corvus, we're just going to take it one step further. And taking up another AA ring, I want to go to the top edge of our weave. And you can see these two rings here in the middle. We want to separate them out a little bit so that we can see our anodized aluminium ring down in there. And that's where we want to feed our new ring, through that one. So that's pretty simple. We just go straight into there, pick it up. We're just picking up the anodized ring, nothing else. And we're going to close that up. So that one's simple. What we want to do then is turn our work around, and we want to look at the same two rings on the other end, on the other side. And we want to find that anodized aluminium ring in there as well. Now this one's a little bit tricky because we've tightened our unit up. Okay, there's not as much room to flip that through as easily as the first one went in. The 16 gauge that I sent out in the kit was particularly tricky. It will work. You can see I'm having a little bit of difficulty here myself. Take it slowly, otherwise you're going to mar your rings up and it will get in. My suggestion, if you can't, no matter how much you've tried to get that ring in there, perhaps go down a gauge with the same size ring ID. Now I haven't tried it myself, but I was just thinking about it last night, especially with the 16 down to an 18 gauge. I would suggest doing that. It is, as I said, it's really tight. It's very tricky. And I can see Cassandra saying on chat that some colours are worse than others, and I totally agree with that. So yeah, I can't curse though, because you know I get demonetized if I do that online. So as I said, that is tricky, especially in the 16 gauge. I found it to be particularly tricky. Just take your time with it. All right. Could be the way you're holding your tongue, Susie, maybe. I think I just about bit mine off a couple of times. So that's one unit, okay? So I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to do up another one, and I'm going to show you how to mirror it. So again, we start by closing 3 rings. We made a pile of these about a week before the kit turned up. Yes. Funnily, it was a popular choice as a first suggestion for a couple of the teachers for MailleCon too. We were all on the same wavelength, which was a bit weird. All right, so as we did before, we're going to close up 3 rings. We're going to open up a 4th. We're going to pop those 3 rings on. Well, you can teach me at MailleCon, Margaret. I'm always up for some new ones. But I'm not allowed to do it online. I get in trouble. All right, so we close that one up and we double that ring up. So we feed another one through those same 3 rings, so that we're left with a chain that's 1, 2, and 2. I'm just going to pinch the twist tie off there, and I'm going to feed it through my single ring. And again, just like we're making Byzantine, flip those rings back on the end, pinch them all the way back against your work so that they separate the top rings out, exposing the rings we've just flipped back. And we're going to scoop up those 2 rings and close it up. Okay, so we're back to here. And remember, I was telling you that make sure that when you get to this stage, you hold it in the same position that you held your previous ring in. So if your previous ring was like this, looking at, you know, this flat end, this ring here, our last ring here, facing its flat end towards you, then this is the way you want to do it. If you switch and do it this way, you're going to confuse the hell out of yourself. All right, so we're back to this position. This time we want to make an mirror image piece. So last time we pushed that top ring up. This time we're going to push that top ring down. Okay, so you can see that our top ring here in the middle is now down towards the end. We've got the same two spaces, one up here, one down here. So we want to go through the top pair of rings. Hopefully I've got that close enough. And through the bottom pair of rings. Exactly the same, except we've pushed that top ring down. Okay, taking up our anodized ring, and we're going to go through those two spaces and close that up. Okay. So if you look at these pieces, I know it's not quite finished, but these pieces now mirror each other. If we'd done it the other way, then we would have had two ones that looked exactly the same. So we really want to mirror this. When you're making the bracelet, I made one color, one of each way. Does that make sense? So one, whatever mirrored that is, I don't know whether it's right or it's left. One top, one bottom. How's that? Of each color to make it up, because you're going to alternate those. So again, just to finish this unit off, we're going to go to the top of our weave. We're going to find our AA ring in there, and we're going to scoop that up. Okay. And then we're going to go down to the other side and do exactly the same thing, hopefully, on the other side, because this, remember, is much, much tighter, much trickier. Takes a little bit more effort. And there, we get it through and we do it up. If you have that ring opened too far, it's going to be really difficult to get that ring through. That's verging on having it opened a little bit too far there. Okay, and close that up. Take twist tie off. Okay, and you can see that they, hopefully you can see that they mirror each other. So you just keep making your units like that. And then once you've got enough units for your bracelet, then you just join them together. As I said, one up, one down, until you've got it all the way. Otherwise, your bracelet's going to have a bit of a twist to it. Okay. So was that good? Is everyone okay with that?
It's very tight.
It is very tight. The 16 gauge one is terrible.
Are the other ones easier?
20 gauge was not good either from memory. I don't know, I've wiped it from my mind.
It must have been bad.
You got to be really slow, and some of them I thought this isn't going to work, but eventually they do. You've just got to have some patience with it. But like I said, especially with the 16 gauge, I think if you went down to the 18 gauge in the same ID, it would work without it being too loose. Going from 14 gauge down to 16 gauge might be a little bit of a jump. I'm not sure how tight that would be. Okay, so as I said, as the weave was designed, these weren't part of the unit. These rings here that are on red on top and bottom, they were actually the joining rings. So the Persephone unit is just that, and then these wings were actually part of the joining rings. You would put one through there and then one through another unit, oh, not another one, put it through another unit, and they would sit like that. All right, well, hopefully everyone's good with that then. I'm not intimidated. Shouldn't be intimidated, as it's just a squished Byzantine unit, basically, or a half Byzantine. It's not even a full Byzantine unit. It's a half Byzantine unit. And yeah, you just squish it. The difficulty is getting them to be mirrored There are a couple of times more than a couple of times where I wasn't paying attention, and I ended up with more going one way than the other way, and I'd have to go back and do them again. I would imagine if you're using a shad ring, Cassandra, that you'd actually want to go up a size a little bit bigger than these ones. I mean, I chose ring sizes that I could do 2 colours in. They're probably all a little bit smaller than is really ideal, obviously, because they're so tight to get that ring in. But, I mean, I like the tighter, denser weaves. The fact that it doesn't flop around is appealing. All right, well, if everybody's good with that and they don't need me to show it again, we can call that done. Well, I hope it helps, Suzanne.
Terry suggested earrings, but you've already done earrings.
I've done one earring, yes. And yeah, look, you can join them. As I said, there's the 2 different ways of joining them. I'm thinking of doing some sort of circle with them. Thinking that might be a fun thing to do. That makes it look easier. When I looked at them, I thought, okay. Oh, I'm glad I could help Phyllis. Like I said, it's a squashed Byzantine unit. So it was hard, Cassandra, but I really did want it to be 2 coloured. I really wanted to do the rainbow bracelet. So I was a bit stubborn about that. So I hope that nobody hates me too badly for doing that to you. You've got a pile of earrings. Yeah, look, I quite like it with the little scale hanging off. I wonder what a graduated set, maybe is a pendant or something, or a necklace. I think you can do a bit with this weave, to be honest. It's just one of those weaves that lends itself to different connections and making different making different units.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. Where does anything come from in my mind?
A fun and exciting place.
Scary and dark. All right, lovelies. You added beads. Yep. I'd love to see them. I'd love to see them. You can do all sorts of things with it. I'm actually looking forward to playing with it a little bit more, to be honest. It's on my list. Yeah, I think graduated would work well. To the mirror channel and been hooked. Said, well, I'm glad you've been hooked, Earl. It's probably not the best place to start this particular weave. We do have a set of basic videos that we're releasing. Some of those weaves might be a little bit better for you. Even though it uses Byzantine, which is a really basic weave, it is a little tight. So, posting the other day when you're looking for inspiration. Yeah, I had a little trouble seeing some of the images because I think I was on my phone at the time. So, hi from Indiana. So it's early morning for you as well, Earl, I'm assuming. I don't know what all the time zones are like there for you guys. But,
well, Lisa's normally got a coffee in hand, so...
Lisa, yep. Yeah, I've had 3 coffees today. I've got it's the weather. It's the weather for coffee today. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. If everybody's happy with the weave. So next week is... but in a good way, Lisa, not like a fish on a hook, right? That would be bad. I hope you don't feel like that. Next week is our chat and prize session. Now, we do actually have 5 Saturdays in this month. At this stage, I'm not planning on doing a stream on the 5th Saturday. I'm going to give myself a little holiday. But next week, we will definitely do our chat and prize giveaway session. So if you've got any questions, save them, bring them along on the night. We don't have too much to talk about. Chris has been working on getting the trays printed. It's proving interesting, but I think we're there now. We might be selling them a week later than we originally planned because we've had so many hiccups with the printer this week that we didn't get as many printed as we would have liked. So We were going to release them on about the 23rd, but I think it's probably going to be more like the 30th now that we'll be able to release some. Earth Hour on the 30th. Ah, there you go. I didn't even know that.
So we couldn't do it then. We'd have to turn all the
We'd have all turn all the lights off. Do it in the dark.
Just this disembodied voice.
That wouldn't be creepy at all. All right. Well, I think that's it then. Unless anyone's got any questions or anything that they want to ask us about. We don't have any more news for MailCon. We're trying desperately to get the mail quilt finished. We're hoping to have it at MailCon for the final quilt. So we're really doing a push for the last patches that are missing. So we hope to have that, and that's been it really. All right, beautiful peeps. Well, I might leave it there then.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks for coming along, spending your Saturday night with us. We do appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed the tutorials. Always a fun start to my day. Oh, Lisa, God love you. I'm glad you look forward to it. Although I was awake at 4 o'clock this morning, but
You did get up.
not by choice. It just happened that way. All right. Well, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Cassandra, you're doing a market or something, are you? Is that why you're busily creating? Working on the fringing as we speak. I didn't know you were here, Wes. Good to see you, mate. Hey, Kelly. I didn't see you pop in either. Did I miss all these people?
Wes said hi. I didn't see Kelly's. But hi, Kelly.
All right, beauts. Catch you next week. Thanks for coming. Love yous. Mwah. Bye.